If you haven't done the forum or the advanced course, Landmark Worldwide, training and development company, call your local office. I don't work for them. I don't represent for them. I don't influence for them. They don't pay me any money. If you think this is about the money, you are way off base.
Some good friends of mine are going to get sent over to London to work with Warner. And I'm just like, and I can't do any.
Some good friends of mine are going to be sent to London. Like they're being trafficked. And then you're going to take this raw. It's like they chose to go to London and it's nothing to do with Warner. It's all about the ideas.
Thing and I can't, whatever. So
You can't say anything. You're literally breaking your first rule of being staff member.
but I hit publish on the book expecting to be sued, expecting to be
So you didn't get sued? So you mean that you can say whatever you want and nobody's silencing you at all?
alienated, expecting to be vilified, expecting
No,
to.
no, none of that stuff is the forum. We would be forgiving and be gracious and empathetic and um uh yeah, with you.
Lose every friend I ever had. Um,
I mean, again, if you went to Landmark to get friends, I mean, that's one thing, whatever, but just because you like stop working there, it doesn't mean you're gonna like lose a friend. Like, do you have their phone number? You're allowed to call them.
it's a lot. Like, I don't know what you went through
Yeah, there you go. It's a lot. Like you're just it's this is literal mountain out of molehill. It could be like this phone is a lot. It's like it's just a description of your experience with that particular phone and like just do the forum, do the advanced course, and then get a new phone. It's like it's not a lot. A lot is something that humans made up, and then you ascribe to your experience based on X, Y, and Z, which weren't necessarily real because you didn't tell anybody about it and you kept it bottled up. Like anybody that keeps anything bottled up for any period of time is going to deal with a lack of freedom and empowerment.
when you actually left Scientology, but it's
Again, like comparing, they literally say comparing and despairing. Like if you want to compare yourself, if I compare myself to an Elon Musk, I am disparaging myself. And I don't need two Elon Musks. I want more use. And Elon isn't happy right or hasn't been happy in his life. And I wish Elon be happy now. Maybe he's done the form, the advanced course as of this past weekend, and all of a sudden he has a new level of happiness in him and
you're
freedom.
leaving a life. You're not leaving.
You're like comparing Scientology leaving a life to your probably put landmark in your description Islam Reform Cult. And literally, you want to quote Rick Ross? Well, then quote him correctly in that he said that it's not a cult at all at Forum and Advanced Course, and it may be a cult at the higher levels. Bro won't even do the Advanced Course of the Forum and wants to talk about the upper management. It's like, bro.
I mean, you're leaving a whole life. And I was popular and kind of like.
So this guy is, yes, I did leave a whole life. So that's he is saying that he left a whole life. So she is listening to him, creating him and his experience to compare it to the forum and the advanced course 10 days out of your entire life versus a billion-year contract or going back every Sunday for the rest of your life. Or I don't know, that's like comparing a penny to $1 million to $10 million to a billion to $1 trillion. It's like what are we even doing here?
In that life, like there was a lot of good stuff for that. I was pretty, I mean, I had hosted Werner. Like I was, well known and I knew it was going to be a big deal. So I published the book. But what happened in the weeks following the publish of the book, I started.
It's taking like 5 minutes to tell me this story. It's just like, oh, poor you. Oh, you
Hearing from
thought you were going to be persecuted because you were a big deal because you led a lot of people and made a difference for a lot of people, and then it didn't happen.
what lit by now is literally hundreds of ex-staff and program leaders.
Yeah, hundreds of ex-staff and program leaders that are all dealing with what they dealt with um, after choosing to no longer. do what they were doing there. The jury is still out on that. Do they ever regret leaving staff for Landmark Worldwide? It's really sad. It's just remarkable, and it happens at the exact talking about people getting frustrated with staff, so to speak. Here we go. I didn't say it was easy or pleasant. I said it was satisfying. They work long hours because in that opportunity to experience the opportunity to make a difference, not to make things different. But people work long hours. See, but to make a difference. So they're not making something different, they're making a difference. Um, yeah. They experience the opportunity of being able to make a contribution and being able to be useful. And I don't experience that opportunity a lot of places in the world. Most of what we have a chance to do, it's like burnout. It's interesting. I thought therapists burned out, were the only ones that burned out. But there's an article in the Wall Street Journal today, this is 1990, where managers are now burning out, if you can believe it. So, like that. And I tell you, the one thing that burns people out, and it's really interesting thing, Dick, he's talking to a guy named Dick or Richard. And we have people who burn out, and you'll like this. The one thing that burns out our people as when they think they got it, it destroys them. It's amazing. You can watch it happen. And that's happened with a couple of people that I've been watching very closely. So he's talking about 1990, but he's talking to you, Anne, in 2025. I've been watching very closely. So it's just you. It takes a matter of months before it's just going through the motions. I, if you've ever worked a job where you were going through the motions, it eventually got very not meaningful for you or not difference making. It's remarkable, and it starts to happen at exactly that moment when they figure out they got it, make made they that they got it made. They got it together. They understand it now. It's no more. It's amazing and it's so deadly. I mean, really, it actually, it's sad. I'm, it's really, really sad. It's really, truly sad. And they go and they're very successful and they go on. See, I'm sure Anna's very successful. To be very successful, they've been very well trained. That people that I'm thinking about in particular, than me, very well thing, man. They know how to get it done, how to do it, but it never has the quality of making the difference again. It never has the quality of making a difference. So, yeah, if someone were to leave working at Landmark, like I no longer like actively participate in Landmark. I have now come in 2025 to a way to make sure that I'm taking care, because that was the other thing before. I was maybe spending like not enough time focusing on my money and my dollars. Although now I wake up and I'm like, oh my gosh, I have eight streams of income. How did this like when I had one stream of income and I heard that seven streams of income is effective, and I guess from the Bible I heard this from a preacher or pastor or something. Um, it seems so out of reach to me. I'm like, I have one stream of income. How on earth will I ever get to seven? This is going to take, it's what it's going to take, what it's going to take. And then now I'm looking at it, I'm like, oh my gosh, I have eight streams of income. Like, how did this happen? It's because I lead all those bricks going from the past. But anyway, so once I figured out this way to make sure that I'm taking care of myself and my bills and have full integrity in that sense. And at the same exact time, can empower people to have what they want in life and make that kind of a difference that the forum makes and the advanced course makes in those just 10 days. Um, versus if I were to be in the situation I am now and say, screw the forum, screw the advanced course, that's probably a cult, or I don't want to be involved in that, or like no one in my family will I will ever pressure into doing it again. It's like, come on, bro. You got all these great things from it, and then you're gonna keep it from your friends and family, from your aunt and uncle, from your brother, sister, from your mother, father that haven't done this work, that hadn't had that whole experience of going on staff. And like maybe you make sure to have that real conversation with them when they say, "Oh, hey, I really love this stuff, and I think I'm going on staff." Maybe you talk to them and say, "Hey, look out for this, look out for this." Like make sure you take a small commitment versus one that you can't chew and you're gonna work there forever. It's like set the agreement. I will work here for 1 year. Like you, I guess, chose to work there for an indefinite amount of time. I don't know exactly what the agreement was. Um, but if you started out that conversation like I'm implying with the intention to only stay here for 1 year and you fulfill on everything that they'd look for in a staff member, like they're not going to say no, you cannot work here for a set period of time. They're going to be like, okay, we got your agreement. Like that's it. Um, do they ever regret leaving staff for Landmark Worldwide? Some do. The jury is still out on some, but I don't think they will. I don't think some will say that it's very clear to me that everybody will so. I'm not talking in that context. Maybe this time offensive. You're saying I think that people want cliff knocking, get crazy. I need to revise this. Uh, if the world doesn't somehow, they won't quit. Maybe this is won't quit knocking. They'd get crazy if the world didn't somehow get transformed from a certain point of view because they have a certain point of view on how the world's going to be transformed. And they don't have a belief structure that has to be confirmed. I think that it is valid. The other thing is, Dick, is that they don't think they're good. So there is no like way that someone that's done the form in the advanced course think that the world should be transformed. Um, None of that. We could never fail. You as a person could never fail. You could fail to perform, but you can't fail as a person. A difference between the other thing, Dick, is that they don't think they're good, therefore it doesn't. They're not made crazy by someone saying that they're bad. Oh, staff don't think that they're good, so they're not made crazy by people saying that they're bad. See, it's not that I don't think guest is good. I don't think it's righteous. I don't think it's God's work. God is not talking to me personally, any different than she talks to anybody you know. There's no great mission. Or, there's, yeah, there is a great mission, but it's a great mission. Everybody's on that great mission. It's not, we have no private access to the mission, no special knowledge about the mission. What we got, like every place, but everybody's got what he's got or she's got. Mm-mm.
And hearing literally all but 7 people, I'm sure there's more that will vilify me. They're just not talking to me. All but 7 of these hundreds say, thank you. I can't thank you for finally talking about what doesn't work in the org.
Yeah, and they heard what doesn't work in the organization. They have fully transformed themselves. And yeah, knock wood, none of these challenges that you ever had would ever happen ever again with another staff member. Um, and at the same time, I invite her to think about the form in the advanced course and how beliefs and feelings and all that sort of stuff
Organization. That's a big thing in
play a role in your interpretation of what staff was to you.
Landmark. It doesn't work. That means it doesn't have integrity.
What didn't have integrity was you not speaking up about it earlier or taking it to the source of the people that could make a difference of it.
There, and then they start telling,
Or making up a story how you did tell someone, but they couldn't get it done and they were the source. And now you can't tell anybody. It's not how stuff works. They have their directors and then their CEOs, and on top of that is a board, and on top of that is the court of public opinion. So it's not like you
winning
can't
their
get
stories. And what I want people to know,
and hey, this is your court of public opinion. However, it's just not effective, and I'm not going to buy your book with zero evidence in it if you can't tell me one piece of evidence on online for free. I mean, I went to your website, I looked at buying the book, and I'm not going to fund something that isn't accurate. You told a bunch of opinions in your book and want to sell it. And if you've already sunken a lot of money into your book, I don't know what to tell you. Some things aren't necessarily the best move that you make. But the point is that you can make a heck of a lot more money doing something else that isn't tearing down another company that has only been of benefit to you. And
my Facebook blows up. There's hundreds and hundreds of comments.
yeah, again, these are avatars. You don't know exactly where these people are. If you click on their profiles or respond to them, they can't always respond, or they don't respond back. And if they do respond back, um, again, they are falling into their sea of opinions and that I felt this way and I did that. It's like that's not about how you feel. If you have a great marriage and you have a great life and a great job and all those great things, it was never about how you felt about those things, and feeling bad about your job isn't going to change your job situation. You got to take an action. You got to be inspired. I mean, you could do it not inspired, but then you're maybe making the move that isn't effective for you. I don't know.
As people are talking, but they're still not really telling their stories publicly.
There you go. Like people aren't telling their stories publicly. There's 10,000 positive reviews and no negative reviews. It's like, yeah, maybe that's a sign. Maybe that's a sign that it's all kind of made up and you realize that you made it up, and then you make up this big story and then try to sell the big story and then try to get evidence and other people to agree with your big story. And meanwhile, it was all big story and doesn't benefit your job, your life, your bank account. It doesn't do anything but just passes more blame and complaints and annoyance, and that none of that stuff ever got anything done in society. It made a difference, but it didn't make a difference that makes a difference. So now, knock wood, you're making a difference that makes a difference on the planet, and that you would not deny an access that got you where you are, and that would support other people to get where they are. And
Because, well, for
I mean, if someone takes full responsibility and shifts something, for you to believe that they didn't make that shift is kind of silly. Like if it's really, really, really that important to you, why don't you hire a spy to go undercover onto staff and catch all these bad things you think they're doing? And then you could put it out on the internet and put it out to all the news stories, but it doesn't happen. The French already tried that. They took the camera inside and they asked all the questions, and it was a great documentary, but it didn't say that Landmark is doing bad stuff. It just said, "Hey, we're not so sure yet, so we don't want to have this in France yet." And now all of a sudden, so many French people did it that now it's like all over France.
it's a little bit, I would say, as a community, the sort of ex-Landmark people are kind of at that.
There's no community of ex-Landmark people. Like it's people that got what they got out of the form and the advance scores, and then no longer choose to participate at the level they were participating at. That's it. We're not now a community of people that have left. It's like a community of people that all have what they want out of life and like chose to focus on themselves and get their own lives in integrity first before they maybe go try to change the world. You ever try to make a difference in someone's life and you didn't have a lot of money? I have. I've spent hours and hours with people that I thought I could really make a difference for, but because my life and my money wasn't set and in place and consistent and made sure I could pay my bills forever. If I want to live to 120, I'm going to need to pay bills somehow to buy food somehow. Um, and I wasn't effective in those relationships because I didn't have my own life completely in order yet. I had my life mostly in order, but then I'm like, oh, well, I'll focus on my friend and not really say, guy, I got to get my own income. I got to get my money right first. And that's like just putting the oxygen mask on yourself first.
Stage where, disaster movies, how they always have the scene when the disaster's over and the sun comes out, and people creep out from their hidey holes, and they kind of go, they look around and they go, I'm alive. I'm not alone. Because most people thought that.
I'd say that the 6 point whatever, 7 point whatever billion people on the planet that has not done the forum yet, uh, do not have the experience, do have the experience that they do not belong in a certain area, or that something is wrong, or that they are on their own. And people that have done the forum know that there is nothing wrong. They do belong in whatever area they want to belong in, and they are not on their own as long as they create teamwork. So, to relate like all these people are somehow victims without any evidence whatsoever of anything, is
They
just,
were alone in there trying to recover from their.
there's no recovery. Maybe I had to go out there and hustle and start making my income so that I can go make the difference that I want to make with my friends. But I'm not recovering from having spent time talking to my friends and getting that if my money's not right, then it doesn't make sense for me to spend time trying to support my friends because I got to take care of myself so that I can support them in the future. I'm not recovering. I am getting that spending time not making money doesn't work for me, and I have to make sure that part is set first. It's not a recovery. That's just me saying, okay, wow, I kind of it doesn't really work for me to spend my entire life being Jesus and just trying to walk around helping people without asking people for money. It's just okay, I'm gonna die soon if I don't let that person be with themselves and like, look, I'll take your calls, but if you're gonna argue with me every time you call and ask me a question and you don't like the answer that I'm giving you, it's like, okay, maybe stop calling me, bro. Like I'm not calling you. I don't need you. It sounds like you might need me. I don't know, but like you don't like what I have to say, so maybe stop asking me questions because I'm just answering the question I'm just being me, bro. Like you want to force me to play yes man or suck up to you? Like I don't know what you want, but there's no recovering. Um, you're so well trained and you're using the training that you got right before you left in your life now, and you wouldn't have had that training had you not been there right before you left. So now you're like, you got free training out of something. Like every assisting agreement that I ever took on, there's no volunteering, but like every time that I said, yeah, I want to like give my time over, like I was on staff without being on staff. I was not getting paid, but Dante and Beth wanted to go on a vacation, take a day off or whatever. And I said, yeah, I will absolutely be staff member for the day or the week or whatever. And, I got so well trained from that. I wouldn't have half the training that.
Their staff and program leader experience,
So to say like I'm recovering when I'm actually like super benefiting from the thing that I'm recovering from, it's like an oxymoron. I mean,
particularly. And then what the hell happened to me? So what's happening
it's
in the landmark,
what the heck happened to me? See, she's taking a very victim mindset here of like they're doing something mind control dynamics to me. It's like that's the vicious circle, right? So it's like what happened? Something happened. My dad hit his hand with a hammer, and then I made it mean that something is wrong, and there was nothing wrong. I don't know if that's the first time I ever said something's wrong in my family, but um, in that instant when my dad hit himself with a hammer and said, "Ow," I thought there was something wrong. It wasn't me thinking, but I don't remember where I was going with this. Let's see.
community right now is what.
Oh, so it's like you are literally making it's like something happened, somebody said something, and then you made it mean that they're controlling you. It's like, okay.
What happened? What were we really a part of? What happened? And there's
You were really a part of making a massive difference on the planet, and another 100,000 people registered in your space. That's what happened. 100,000 people got what they wanted out of life, got the money they wanted, got the life they wanted, got the wife they wanted, got the job they wanted, got the community they wanted. Not to say that there's nothing missing, but those people have access to see what's missing and put in what was missing and make that difference immediately, and they wouldn't have had that without this.
There's a lot of people watching a lot of videos, reading a lot of books, having a lot of conversation that has been until March.
This is a romantic sensation saying, oh, well, all these other people are having conversations out loud, so it must be true.
Of this year, pretty much taboo.
No, it's not taboo. You can say whatever you want. You think it's taboo because not a lot of people do it, because most people see what good they got out of it and see that what they may have felt was a negative experience is actually just like passing clouds. It's like a passing rain cloud. It's like there's nothing wrong with the rain cloud. It just passed. It wasn't even you feeling. It was it feeling. You had the feelings.
You might get it.
Okay. Scribe is how you.
It's like learning 1 + 1 = 2, and then when you become like a calculus professor, you forgot that 1 + 1 = 2. It's like you forgot about basic math, or you weren't present to basic superstitions of what happened.
Station, but
All right, I have some questions.
okay, good. I basically just gave you the whole book because I knew you said you weren't going to be able to read the book, so I'm like, you're kind of getting the.
Yeah, you gave me the whole story of the book with zero evidence. Thanks.
But all that's basically the whole what the story is. It's the detail.
No, there was no detail in what you said. You just told me a lot of words.
So if I compare it to Scientology,
there you go. Compare and despair. You can't compare a religion with a company. It does. There's no.
Obviously, in my opinion, Scientology is a cult for a large number of reasons, right? But if someone, what I'm going to bring up here is an issue, a matter of language.
Yeah.
So if Scientology is a cult, it is Scientology that is a cult. I can see how someone who maybe only did a few introductory courses of Scientology might not feel like they had joined a cult. They may not have, their life may not have been impacted particularly negative.
After I did the forum, I walked into the Church of Scientology in New York City, and yeah, I went through their introductory stuff, and I'm not saying anything bad or wrong about it. I just didn't feel like that was an access to fulfill what I was looking to fulfill. But that's mostly because I had already received that 5-level training from the forum and the advanced course. So I saw Scientology as sort of a duplicate of that. Not like I couldn't get anything out of it. And again, it's like they say one sentence, and I love that one sentence. Like, I'm not going to make all of Scientology out to be a bad thing if I read it in a book and I'm not cultish about it. Just like, hey, wow, this sentence is really important to me.
But what I'm struggling with a little bit is if someone tried to say, well, Scientology at the introductory levels is not a cult, but then when you go on to the major courses, it is a cult, I would struggle with that because I would go, no, Scientology is a cult.
See, there you go. Well, that's so there is no comparison. You're saying that Scientology is a cult in itself. There you go, done and over with. And this is your opinion, ex-Scientologist. Has nothing to do with my opinion. I'm not saying that's just real or to believe me or anything. And Rick Ross says that Landmark Forum and Advanced Course are definitely not cults, and maybe it gets to a cult at the other level. Well, you're answering your own question there. There's no comparison whatsoever.
People can have different levels of involvement in the cult. People can buy in, have different levels of buy-in as far as worship of the leader or the founder or source. But it doesn't mean that.
Yeah, so you're talking about cults worship a leader or a source, and there's no worshipped leader in Landmark.
At this level, it's a cult, and at this level, it's not a cult. I feel like it's a matter of language, and I'm curious because when
there's no one person at the top.
And you talk about Werner.
There's no charismatic leader. Werner's not involved in it.
And Werner going off and, rumored to have sold the.
Yeah, George Washington went off. He said, I don't want to be president anymore because then I would be a king. Then I would be a cult leader.
the business, the company for $1 because he had to go off in order to save transformation. We haven't yet discussed what transformation means, but my understanding is transformation is what occurs at the lower level that we are saying.
Yeah, it's the same transformation as in the Bible.
Is not a cult. And yet the entire cult.
It actually is very closely connected to the Bible in that Yahweh is I am or I will be or I am becoming. It's all very, very closely related, even though Landmark is not theological or religious at all.
Is based on bringing about transformation. But you see, how can an entire cult be built on an activity that we're saying is not a cult?
Yeah.
Exactly. You just answered your own question.
It's really great. So there's a couple things at play. So one, there are two things that Landmark pretty much sues over. One is
if you owned a multi-million-dollar company and someone tried to steal your stuff, you would not let them. You would sue them. It is just a legal tool. It's just how society functions.
And the other one, that's what Margaret.
Yeah, because it's not a cult by any definition whatsoever. It's like you guys keep calling it cultish, and yet you can't even pull up a dictionary and show me this is what they do.
Sanger and Rick Roth. And Rick Roth's attorney, Peter Skolnick, is now my attorney. And
I see. Let's look up Peter Skolnick later. Maybe you are also an attorney for Scientology. Ooh, that would be interesting. If the lawyer of Scientology is also the lawyer of Rick Ross is also the lawyer of Anne. That's a coordinated effort to beat down.
That's, I mean, you got to get, like, I didn't do this willy-nilly. It took me 3 years to get to the place where I could even tell the story.
Again, you broke your agreement. Your first agreement as a staff member is to open honest communication and don't hold anything back.
Could talk publicly.
So there's no reason why you couldn't have talked publicly. You're making this up. You could have taken to the internet any day, anytime, anywhere.
And and all of that. And
it was really that big of a deal. You go to the news, you go to the police, but it's not that big of a deal. You just want to make money on a book.
I'm prepared. I knew my husband and my husband was a center manager and so on. So anyway,
you and your husband have amazing lives and chose to do this for decades, it sounds like. So clearly, if you worked somewhere for decades, you got value out of it. And you made like 50, 60 grand a year.
Part of what you're butting up against.
And you saw it sounds like you worked at the same center. So you would have been like working, you would have seen each other all the time. That's like.
Is those of us know that there's one thing that they're, and I'm not afraid about it, but I'm also not.
What we know, and some of us know, is I'm not afraid. It's like, these are all romantic sensations.
Eager to get sued. So
how can they sue?
Eager to get sued if you're calling a non-cult a cult? Like, what are you? You're literally asking to get sued, and you want to steal their, plagiarize them. Yeah, you get sued.
Calling them a cult.
I mean, if again, guys, Scientology, and pull up the dictionary, show me the definition that you are concerned about being a cult, and then show me what Landmark did that matched that definition. I've been watching tens of hours of your guys' videos, and nobody can tell me this answer. And I've commented to all your stuff, and you've commented back, and you still can't give me any answer.
It's crazy, right? Well, here's what's.
Oh, it's crazy because I said it was crazy.
What's crazy about it is.
It was so crazy. Let me just keep saying crazy, and eventually people will believe it's crazy.
Millions of people have been calling them a cult for like 50.
No, millions of people calling them. No, a few randos online have done that. And. Yeah, of course, Scientology losing people to Landmark would not want that to happen because they're not making their bank that they were making. So they take this coordinated effort out to call somebody else a cult. Meanwhile, they're the cult. Isn't that like projection, confession, and admission?
It's like not I mean, they've been run out of whole countries, you know.
No, they're not run out of whole countries. In fact, they're in every single country, in every single language. Show me one country they were run out of. The French did a documentary on them, not saying anything bad about them, literally just taking a camera inside and them saying what they said. And nobody in the comments can say what's wrong about that stuff that was said. It's all like subtitled and everything, even if it's in French. And and now tons of French people have done it. So there's no kicked out of countries.
Behaviors. I will share, you know, I've had this conversation pretty in depth with Rick Allen Ross, which, you know,
they were kicked out of countries because of their cultish behavior, but I'm not going to give you any examples of it. And I'm going to talk to you for an hour and 27 minutes about fibs.
You know, you might want to invite him to come on and have this conversation, because he is like, if you,
yeah, he did have a conversation with Rick Allen Ross, and Rick Allen Ross just doesn't know what he doesn't know, and it's not his fault. But you choose not to sign paperwork. You choose not to do business with a company. It's that simple. I sign paperwork all the time for companies, and I read it, and I'm clear that I'm the one that's making a decision to do it. And I'm
if you get the lawsuit, Rick Allen Ross will be my star witness.
Would be your star. Bro's been star witnessing for 30 years, and nothing ever was founded,
because he is the foremost.
And your website is now gone for some reason. Why is culteducation.com no longer up? Bro, clearly you're like not that effective. If you're like, bro, do the forum and then go after the things that you think are cults, and you could actually be the hero of the world by freeing people from cults. But no, you want to make one company wrong on a 10-day experience course and 5 days each, and you'd rather be right than be free from cults.
Expert. He is the expert witness in all cult trials. His website.
Great. I'm sure he's worked on a lot of cults, and Nexium is gone, and a bunch of cults are gone. But I'm telling you, Rick, he could make a lot bigger difference if he just did the Forum in the Advanced course, and then you can never go back ever again. But you'd be like really brightening up the world with your real talk about cults, instead of like accusing someone of being a cult when they're not.
Cult Education Institute is the place. If you want to know,
it's the place, but no longer exists.
What you're participating in is a cult or cult-like, that's where you want to go.
Cult.
And there's all this stuff, right? There's Stephen Hassan's bite model that's like, if it meets these criteria, it's a cult. And then there's Lifton's work. If it meets these criteria, it's a cult. La la la. And
yeah, we did the bite model, Steve Hassan's in the last video, BIT, behavioral control, information control, emotional control. Landmark Forum is none of that whatsoever, nor is Landmark staff any of that whatsoever.
Point to me was, because he was pretty adamant when I first called him, because I called him, I'm like, Rick, am I in a cult?
Someone's like, oh, well, they made me cut my braids off. It's like, no, they made this girl I knew cut her braids off that was staff. It's like, great, bring the girl on. Let's hear the conversation. Because really what happened is that girl went in, had a conversation, and then cut her braids on her own accord. And then you thought that she was forced to do it. And I don't know, regrow your braids? Like what? I don't know what you want me to. She wasn't for. Oh, they were yelled at. It's like, you weren't even in the conversation. The door was closed. And did you want to make up stuff and then not go interview that person that was quote unquote yelled at? That like left that office after yelling and had the biggest breakthrough of their life and like met the man of their dreams of their life after they quote unquote got yelled at. If it takes me being yelled at one time for me to find the love of my life, I'm gonna be okay with that. Especially if I'm the one that promised 9 and I went in there with 8 trying to be some hot shot. Like why are you getting angry at me for me not delivering on what I promised I would deliver on? And I chose to be in that environment where if I don't be my word, then I have a conversation about the word that I promised. It's not like I didn't know that that's the way that this organization works, and that if every organization worked like this, minus the yelling, just everybody being 100% responsible for their own selves, in a group of 2, you'd have 200% responsibility. In a group of 1,000, you'd have a 10,000% responsibility. That's the type of responsibility world that I'm looking to live in.
And he said no. And I'm like, okay, let's talk. So he's the one who really, and here's what he said, and I did think this was valuable. He said, look, the word cult is getting thrown around so much that his concern is that the truly dangerous or destructive cults will stop being on the alert system because the word gets sort of diminished.
I mean, I don't think so. Seems like a lot of people online are concerned about cults. Seems like there's a lot of. I've seen way more Scientology videos in downtown Los Angeles and people saying I'm X this or X that, leaving wherever they were a part of. Anyway, hope you're having the best day ever. Love, peace.